Here we are, or I am, at the NCLR building. It's really beautiful. And this is what's called La Plaza de los Afiliados, which means the Affiliates Plaza. So let's go inside. Little buffet for us here. Good morning. These are the girls that we couldn't live without through this conference.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Lourdes. Siéntate aquí con nosotros.
Which is one of the main thoroughfares.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm always with my camera.
They're making sure that people are aware of what's going on, because the media is really not helpful. The media is not really putting it out as much as because the media are threatened. Yeah, the media.
This is the Presbyterian Church where we're having our donuts and coffee this morning before we hit the hill.
Just as good about the next
Church of the Expo is Chris
Is Lourdes and Jose? And this is the church where we're gathering by states.
No, it's in its VA.
Here's Florida.
From our communities coming into their offices and talking about the issues. So it is energizing for us, even though I know that we are going through some very trying times in all of our communities. But as you are here to deliver the message of how these times of anxiety are so deeply affecting Latinos around the country, I also think it's important to take a moment and take a deep breath and look around the room. And we have some people missing today. The room yesterday, you saw it. I know some people have to go to working meetings, but I want you to take a look around the room. Take a deep breath and absorb the feeling of community, of strength, of aspiration that has brought every one of you here to bring the message to the Capitol, to these members of Congress. Because I think when you are going through difficult times, it is important to feel that sense of community, that we are not in this alone. And every person who's here, look to your left, look to your right, every person who's here is actually carrying the voices of thousands of other people back home.
1.3 million.
So feel that when you walk through those halls of Congress, you energize not only us at NCLR, the many staffers that work on the Hill that believe in our issues. So feel that and take that with you.
Contempt against Latinos. Such is the case, for example, with Representative Donald Reimer, who during the elections circulated legislation that he would introduce, which copycats Arizona's Senate Bill 1070. His repeated appearances in the media created an atmosphere of anti-Latinos, of resentment against Latinos and against immigrants. And just 2 days ago, okay, Representative Reimer circulated among legislators an anti-immigrant bill. That's a copyright of Arizona, but that goes even further. Okay? He also saw co-sponsors in the now legislative with a majority of people that have an anti-Latino sentiment, and there is the possibility that such a law could pass in the state of Wisconsin, and it's important that you know that. In Wisconsin, we've also found that Latinos have charged that there has been an increase in racial profiling and sweeps by law enforcement in many communities, that there is the perception by many Latinos that you may be stopped while driving if you are Latino. That's racial profiling. In Wisconsin, 10%, 100%, not 10%, 100% of counties are now in the Secure Communities ICE program, as opposed to in 7 other states you have that, but Wisconsin has it in 100%.
They're like rats and multiply. That sounds like a comment from a science club. But it was within the walls of the Tennessee State Legislature when these hurtful words were used by a state representative to describe mothers, fathers, and children. In November of last year, one of our Tennessee state representatives, Corey Todd, likened Latinos to rats when he was told that Cover Kids, a state-run healthcare service for poor children, does not check the immigration status of women before providing prenatal care. His exact words were, "They can go out there like rats and multiply, I guess." Mr. Curry did not have the decency to offer a genuine apology for his remarks. Instead, he said that he wished he had used a more acceptable term to describe those unborn children, anchor babies. More acceptable to whom? Not to me or you or anyone who cares about treating people with dignity. My name is Renata Soto. I'm the Executive Director of Conexión Américas in Nashville, Tennessee. As a mother, as a community member, and as a citizen of this community, I have had enough. It is time to stand up and say that when you see other people as animals, you call your own humanity into question. It is time to stand up and say that Latino children have the right to be welcomed into this world with the promise of a bright future, and that we are tired of politicians who classify our children as less than human. It is time to stand up and say that Latinos love and die for this great nation, and that we are tired of being the scapegoat for everything that ails this country. It is time to stand up and say that Latinos work hard for a chance to achieve our American dream, and we are tired of being the punching bag. I am standing up here in our nation's capital, here today, to say that our Latino community won't tolerate elected officials who espouse crass bigotry. Will you stand up with me?
Yes!
Will you stand up for our children?
Woo!
Will you stand up for our Latino community?
Woo!
Unfortunately, Mr. Todd in Tennessee is not alone in his views. His words are just one example of the increasingly toxic political environment across the country. I am proud to call Tennessee home, but in order to keep my state a welcoming place, Conexión Américas and our allies in this fight are committed to standing up and letting our lawmakers know that the politics of exclusion, denigration, and disrespect are unacceptable. Conexión Américas has accepted the challenge to push the pledge for respect to our lawmakers, and I ask you to join NCLR in this important mission. We must work together to challenge these hateful attitudes to ensure that our country as a whole remains a welcoming place, a place where we respect the inherent worth and dignity of all people, including Latinos. That's what we want, respect. Eso es lo que queremos, respeto. What do we want?
Respeto.
When do we want it?
Now.
¿Qué es lo que queremos?
Respeto.
¿Cuándo lo queremos?
Ahora.
In our Pledge of Allegiance, we're called to be one nation, indivisible. If you are here, you are us. In the words of Dr. King from his letter from Birmingham jail, he says, anyone who lives inside the United States can never be considered an outsider anywhere within its bounds. We are here. We belong here. We are the United States of America. Stand up if you are a father. Stand up if you are a teacher. Stand up if you are a student. Stand up if you are a sister. Stand up if you are a brother. Stand up if you are the United States of America. Stand up if you commit to us, your state legislatures and congressmen, to sign the Pledge of Respect today. What do we want?
Respect.
When do we want it?
Now.
where they think they know what Latinos are about, what they're like, what they believe, and a lot of those things are wrong. So if you would, think of many members of Congress as at-risk youth, or at-risk students, I should say. You know, they have promise if given an opportunity. So let's try to give them the educational tools they need to succeed, because we know that works for our youth. So let's see if they have a better chance of given a chance to do what our youth does when we're given an opportunity. And then don't forget that we have a deadline also, because it's important to have an action and a deadline. So April recess, we need you to work with us to make a big push at the district level. So if your members haven't signed, then we'll have a rolling list for you all to see. So that if your members haven't signed, April recess, when we know they're going to be home, you go visit their offices. Obviously, you're going to call before that and make sure that their district office know you've been here and you're following up on this, and you're going to be calling again for them to respond. And then by April, if they haven't responded, you know, as soon as you get back home, you can call the district office and say, I want to make an appointment for April when the member's going to be here to meet with them. And if the members are available to meet with their staff. But the deadline is May 6th, and we are going to make public who decided to sign this pledge. Now, if you notice, we haven't said you have to support this side of immigration or that side of budget cuts or the other, because we think that just being respectful and defending the public space for constructive debate is progress. And we're going to stick to that. And we think that if people refuse to sign that, it just says a lot. So anyway, there's a number of things that are on the logistical side. I know that today is a rainy day, so we have some ponchos that you can pick up, those plastic types. I know not everybody has an umbrella. And please, it's going to rain, so for all you fashionable types, just take it. You'll be glad you did. They're very little bags, you know, even if you don't think you want it right now, take it. You can store your luggage downstairs and pick it up at the end of the day. So as you know, if you were here last year, not everybody can. Some people have to fly out, but we are going to gather back here. And for those of you who can, let me tell you, like hearing the stories about either meetings that were good or not, it's just really good. So